Wonderful. Great to have you back again.
Thank you.
As announced earlier, now you are with us the same full, but in your role as now acting principal of Fatamorgana, the Danish School of Art Photography. You will give insight into your ideas of education, we hope, and what other possibilities there are for young people to become photographers, or let's say, to shape their talents. So I'd like to pass the word on to you.
It's nice to be here yet again. Thank you for that. In this section, I promised to talk a little bit about photo education in Denmark. It's really important for me to stress in this that I am new in my role as acting principal, and previous to that, I've mainly taught here at Fatamorgana. So that is where my main focus is going to be in this talk. Fatamorgana was founded by Morten Bo in 1989 and is currently located in Copenhagen's northwest quarter of Nørrebro in this really great old photo studio that I'm sitting at currently while giving this presentation. Fatamorgana was founded by Morten Bo in 1989 as him seeing a need for a school that didn't exist at the time. The story is elaborate, but a lot of it is his own to tell, but the spirit that Morten brought to this idea was pretty beautiful. It sort of started when he was doing a workshop on an island in Denmark called Samsø. He had been a freelance photographer and worked with this group of peers, Per Folker, who was a photojournalist from Politiken, for instance, and had this group called Ragnarok. And they all saw a need for a different kind of school. Morten started a conversation with Christer Strömholm, who had formed a school in Stockholm that seemed to resonate with Morten in a specific way. The school was in the beginning in a small apartment in Teglgårdsstræde in Copenhagen, and later moved to Amager, Strandersvej, where it was located for up until about 5 years ago, where it moved to its current location where we're at right now. I came into this role this fall with a lot of hardship. The school went through a lot of turmoil this summer when some student raised a complaint about Morten Bo and his way of running the school. Therefore, there had to be a change of leadership. I am the acting principal and the main teacher for the photography part of the school, and share the teaching responsibility with Karin Borsø, who is the head of the cinema part of the school. Fatamorgana has a film department now called Fata Cinema and a photo department. It had always been a big part of the school to do moving images as well as still, but now it's more defined. The school structure is that you can go here for either 4 months, which is a semester, or 2 semesters. In the primary semester, we sort of just getting to know your own language in photography and who you are as a photographer. The first assignment you usually get when you start studying here is the meeting with a stranger, where you're encouraged to go out and find a stranger and do a portrait. How you sort of choose to develop on that idea is up to you, and we see so many different things coming back from that assignment, but I do really love that because it really is like about confronting other people as a photographer and confronting yourself being a photographer. I would like to read aloud our in-works mission statement, or at least what we send out to all the students when they start studying here. At Fatamorgana, we focus on the image that encourage questions. The work that presents the viewer questions will always be more interesting than the work that hands you the answer. The ability to register what is happening around you, what it looks like, what is said. But if you want more than that, you need to ask questions in your photographs, not to just get answers, but to encourage and engage your audience. But we also encourage you to ask yourself those same questions. What is the photograph to you, and what should it be? Why has a piece of visual content a justification? During your time at the school, you will be challenged. We encourage that you use it to free yourself from your usual understanding of how the world works and accept the advice you receive. Some photographs you have to work hard for, and others will redeem themselves quickly. There will be ups and downs, but you must see this as a process. Fatamorgana is a preparation for what comes after, a journey in developing an understanding of what in language and imagery, so you'll be able to talk about your work and others' work. Your time at Fatamorgana will be groping, searching, and fragile. You have to know yourself to communicate out to others and make your stories. And in making your stories, you'll quickly discover that you're your own most valuable toolbox. Welcome to Fatamorgana. Another part of this school that's like really important to understanding how it works, and something that's been very important to me to carry into the semester we've just been through, was the structure of a mix of guest teachers coming from the photo community around the school and us as main teachers on an everyday basis. We also have, we call them Wednesdays guests, where people coming in doing lectures throughout the semester to introduce their work to the students. This is a still from one of the students' works called Run. I sort of dove deep into the archive at the school to sort of get a variety. So all these photographs are current and past students of Fatamorgana in a great mix. I've always been really proud to say that I was from this, not just Fatamorgana, but just Denmark in the way of photography, because I feel like here, I was asked a question while we were on break about the seriousness and humor and playfulness and all this stuff. And I feel like there's this Nordic sentiment that I really appreciate, where in visual communication, you can be dark and cynical while still be humorous and playful. I feel like it's in our character as people. Here's another still from one of the students' work. This is a book printed only on transparency by Rose. Fatamorgana especially is all about the experiment, sort of the genres of photography, and we sort of like talk about what these different things mean. You're sort of encouraged to just break the boundaries for the time that you're here. And the language really is the biggest part. We do not like focus a lot on technical things here. We do have a little bit of Photoshop and Premiere Pro and After Effects stuff, but we really do spend most of our time talking about the content of the imagery. My students, the fall semester, had the opening of their fall exhibition. They made a really great website because obviously, like the rest of the world, we are confined to a lockdown standard. Here's a little speech that will be taken down for the rest of the exhibition period. But to sort of go into what I'm seeing a lot from the students' work this is Tiffany Louise Hoff, a student that's on her second semester. She is doing the film course, but has really, in this project, dived into photography. And I see her making mixed media cool again in the way that she's approaching her work. It's playful, it's boundary breaking, it's questioning taste in a way, but it also talks to the feeling of adolescent that is the time that she is in, and it's very personal. So I really appreciate the experiment and the wildness of this kind of work that I'm seeing, down to like spending hours creating this beautiful fire gift that looks like it was just stolen off the internet, but it's all made by her. Very dedicated young woman. See, we have like a lot of this is the book by Rose, which was started in one assignment, which was called A Practical Guide to My Own Reality, in which she got a list of photographs that she was forced to take. And because it was really more about talking about the photograph as an object and not so much the individual photo. And she developed this, which is a really brilliant transparency book that she did a little sweet video for here. in teaching at Fatamorgana, I think what Morten taught me and all the great guest teachers he introduced me to was really to sort of really never settle, or like don't be afraid of people not understanding the work, because they got to feel the work, and sort of like rough edges all the way. And I really, really, really appreciate that in this kind of work as well. It's beautiful. It's her own. I've been fortunate to be around her for 5 months, and I can see her personal take on it. It also talks about the time that she's becoming a visual maker in. It's very modern and contemporary. But I feel like they're all very, very poignant and strong young storytellers. So I'm very proud of their exhibition here.